Crypto Go channel, and today we're talking about these tariff exemptions. Today we're talking about these tariff exemptions, right? So let's see what's going on with these tariff exemptions real quick. Because when I heard the news, I said, whoa, now it's cars behind me, so exclude the noisy background, but we still got to get this job done here. Tariff confusion persists as exemptions roll out. Now, I think this can be super bullish for the crypto market. Let me repeat. I think this can be super bullish for the crypto market. The exemptions are things like the chips. So Apple is booming, Dell is booming right now, laptops, phones, things along that nature, right? So let's listen on that.
Stocks are rallying this on, as Carl said, perhaps a tariff reprieve, at least for some electronics. Well, let's get over to Megan Casella, of course, because it is not as it all would appear. And Megan, perhaps you can explain to us what may be yet to come when it comes to these potential exemptions getting rolled back.
Yes, there's a lot to unpack here, David. So the tariff exemptions that the White House had repeatedly vowed would not be coming, of course, showed up this weekend. A handful of consumer goods, mostly technology, as you guys said, and as you can see on your screen here, all now exempt from the 125% so reciprocal tariff on imports from China. They are, though, still subject to the 20% tariff imposed over fentanyl concerns earlier in the term. But administration officials have spent 2 days now essentially saying not to read too much into these exemptions. Here's Kevin Hassett talking to reporters this morning.
Pretty much everything's going to be covered. The question is which law applies. And so if there's something that has a national security effect on things, and so if we buy it from some other country, then we might be unprepared at the time of war if they were to turn off that thing, then that's going to be in a 232 bucket. But then we've got the reciprocal bucket, which is kind of most everything else.
So Hassett and other officials are doing a few things here. They are first trying to knock down any criticism that the president is backing down in his tariff fight by carving out these items. They're also highlighting that 20% tariff still applies, and they are emphasizing that more tariffs on these goods may still be coming. Remember, guys, we've talked about this, but certain goods were always excluded from the reciprocal tariffs. Copper, lumber, semiconductors, and pharmaceuticals all on that list.
Okay, so let's talk about the what was excluded. Semiconductors. What else? Copper, lumber. They didn't talk about that yet. Pharmaceuticals. They didn't talk about that yet. How you doing? All right. They didn't talk about that yet as well. So it's a lot of things that they actually didn't discuss, right? And you guys could check my little pathway out. It's a river down there. So let's go by the riverside real quick. Let's go by the riverside. But we're talking about crypto and these tariff exemptions. We're talking about crypto and the tariff exemptions. So with that being said, this is one hell of a fall. If you do fall, my God. But, you know, we don't plan on this positivity over negativity. We will never fall. Just water right underneath. Okay, so let's get back to these tariffs. So with these tariff exemptions, I have the market as pricing this in as a positive catalyst, right? So you never know. Bitcoin might skyrocket tonight because it likes to move in the night when everyone's asleep. It likes to move in the night. So let me know what you guys think about these tariff exemptions and how Trump is manipulating the whole market. I want you guys to challenge yourself and read, right? Read The Art of the Deal. I've read it. Everything in the book he's doing. What he does is, and Trump does a wonderful job at this, he find out what you're weak at. He find out whatever you're weak at, that's his point of attack. China is weak at it. Everyone has their strength and everyone has their weaknesses. Is that correct? Everyone has their strength and everyone has their weaknesses. Nations have their strongholds. Nations also have their point where they're weak. China is strong at a certain thing, but they're weak as far as their manufacturing. They're weak, but they're weak as far as dependency. They depend a lot on everyone else. Why? Because they in the manufacturing business. They are the creators, right? So when you are the creator, what do you have to do? For some apparent reason, when you are the creator, you must, let me repeat, you must depend on the buyer. It's just default. Just like a computer has to depend on electricity in order to work. It's duality. These things has to happen, right? Let me repeat. These things have to happen. So with that being said, if these things has to happen, right? Trump is good at, you may not like him politically. Get politics out of our head real quick. Let's just look at the man as a businessman, because I like his business attributes. As far as politics, that's neither near and there. I think everyone's playing each other. I think everyone's playing, right? But as far as tactics, you can learn from everyone now, can't you? As far as tactic goes, what he does is he find out what you're weak at, and he figured that out, and he's playing on China's weakness as we speak. China want to be the superpower. In order to be the superpower, you have to be a lone wolf by yourself, or you have alliances. The United States has way more alliances than China, and I think that's what they're going to be fighting for. And if you read the art of the deal, you will understand. Oh, I see exactly what he's doing. He's throwing out preposterous things. 1,000% tariffs. 100% tariff on you. And he's basically saying, I know this isn't going to stick, but it's going to get the crowd to understand what's really going on. And it's going to shed light onto these things. And that's, to me, that's what's happening. Check out this bridge. Check out this bridge. Check out this bridge right beneath. Damn, I feel like, you look down, it looks like, I'm in Florida in one of the swamps. Right? We're in Florida in one of the swampy areas. Right? In Florida, one of the swamps, we got the guy exercising right there. Nothing wrong with that. Get it, get it, get it. So we're traveling on up, right? And I'm just talking, right? I'm just talking because this is amazing right here. This is quite amazing. But back on the exemptions, I think with the exemptions, it actually make it 10 times beneficial. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
All right, I see you getting your workout on.
My exercise.
Anywhere, everywhere, right? Have a good day. All right. I have to, I must, right? We've been waiting on it all year. So, as you guys can see, it's a you can canoe over there, I'm guessing. The canoe is over there. You guys see the canoe behind the bushes? You guys see? You get the canoe. Grab yourself a canoe, hit the river, right? Hit the river, hit the river, hit the river. So saying it all to say, let's talk some more about the tariffs.
Because the White House has long been looking at imposing national security tariffs under what's known as Section 232 on those items. Phones and computers were not initially on that list, but a White House official just this morning told me that they could now be lumped into the semiconductor investigation because phones and computers, of course, are downstream users of chips. Guys?
All right, Megan. So, yeah, do we have any sense as to where we stand then on phones or on servers or laptops, for example? And here the key names would be Apple and Dell and HP, all of which are up today. But of course, there continue to be real questions as to what the ultimate tariffs will be on their products.
Absolutely. We're mostly in a holding pattern, a wait and see. When I spoke to this official, the sense that I got is that the White House is not looking at a separate investigation on those items. They would have to, for example, launch an investigation saying that iPhones are a threat to national security and then imposing tariffs specifically on iPhones or smartphones more broadly. That does not seem to be in the cards at this point. But what they are saying is that this broader 232 investigation, as it's called, into semiconductors could ultimately lump in some users of semiconductors, and that could include smartphones and laptops and other things that semiconductors are put into. It's not definite yet, but that's possible that that's an impact of that study. I'll also caution, though, that we're still a few steps away from this. the White House and the Commerce Department specifically will have to formally launch an investigation, notify Congress, likely have a public comment period, and then rule that they are imposing tariffs. So we're still a few steps away from that, but I will say I am told that even though the president has not signed an executive order formally launching that investigation yet, that the Commerce Department informally has sort of started the groundwork, so they could move quite quickly once that EO is signed. Megan, I'm curious how we square some of these national security.
So to me, that is a positive catalyst for the market. It must be a positive catalyst for the market. So the way I see it is, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, get my crypto guide as well. Let me know what you think about the effect of these tariff exemptions. And I think, like I say, he's playing a game. It's a push and pull game. It's a game if you play spades and you know how to bluff and stuff like that. Like, that's the game to me I think Trump is playing. And he's doing a wonderful job at it, I must say. Because at the end of the day, he's getting what he wants and what America actually needs. And not only that, right? He's making agreements with these people. Hey, you give me this, I give you guys that. That's the art of the deal. It doesn't get any better than that. It doesn't get any better than that. You know, they're gonna blame him for what's going on in the market, right? And yes, he did do executive orders and stuff. But you gotta remember, he was handed BS. And he turned BS into something quite fancy and fantastic to me. That's just my opinion. He's turning it. Now, I can judge him on midterms, and we can see where we at in a couple of years from now. But I think the precedence of what he's actually setting is actually magnificent. Now, I'm not talking the political realm. I'm just literally talking about from a business perspective. It's magnificent. So smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video. That's all I ask. Share this video, get my crypto guide. Let me know what you think about the market. Is it a boom or a bust? Will the market tank because of this news, or is this a positive catalyst for the market to actually climb higher? And this just happened today. So give it a couple of days and see what may take place. On that note, this is Crypto Dough. Put on your seatbelts. It is time to take off in 5, 4, 3,